Phoenix, the Kelly Green dream is still alive. At his annual availability with reporters at the NFL owners' meetings, Eagles owner Jeffrey Lurie said the Eagles are still working on finding a way to bring back the very popular Kelly Green jerseys. "We're working on that hard. High priority," Lurie said. "I don't know if it'll get done for the 2019 season, but I have some hopes for the 2020 season." Lurie again confirmed their goal is to bring back Kelly Green jerseys as an alternate. At this point, this is a saga that has been ongoing for the last couple of years, dating back to a rule proposal from the Eagles back in 2017 that would allow teams to use multiple helmets. They withdrew the proposal before it reached a vote. That's the hold-up right now. The league prohibits teams from using multiple helmets, and the Eagles' helmet is midnight green, an obvious fashion clash with a Kelly Green jersey. This is the second year in a row. Lurie said he thought it was somewhat doubtful that jerseys would be brought back for the next season, but was optimistic about the following season. "At least one prominent player would clearly be on board. Can we bring these uniforms back at Eagles?" Alshon Jeffrey, at The World Off. AJ, February 21, 2019. At last year's owners' meetings in Orlando, I tracked down competition committee chairman Rich McKay, who said the opposition to a new rule was a safety issue. "It's an antiquated rule from when the league was worried that every player be fitted correctly for just one helmet. It seems crazy that the NFL, with its billions of dollars, couldn't maintain standards for multiple helmets per player." Last year, McKay seemed optimistic the rule would eventually change. Lurie, in recent years, has consistently said he wants to bring back the Kelly Green jerseys, but only if they have helmets to match. "At this point, I'll believe it when I see it." But Lurie annually keeps hope alive. Click here to download the My Teams app by NBC Sports. Receive comprehensive coverage of your teams and stream the Flyers, Sixers and Phillies games easily on your device. More on the Eagles. It seems like the Eagles were interested in Antonio Brown after all. Well, at least AB was interested in the Eagles. During Brown's first podcast, The Boomin' Experience, he included a conversation he had with his agent Drew Rosenhaus before the Steelers-Raiders trade was consummated. Rosenhaus told Brown that teams who were interested in him were Philly, New England, Tennessee, Washington, Buffalo and Oakland. The trade to the Bills fell apart, and Rosenhaus said he wouldn't even discuss terms with the Bills because Brown didn't want to play there. Here's the full clip. Antonio Brown shared audio of a trade conversation he had with agent Drew Rosenhaus. AB makes it clear he didn't want Buffalo, Belichick and winning team, and Rosenhaus said he wanted to push the Patriots and the Eagles to the top of the list. Here's a bit of the conversation. Brown, what's up with Oakland? Rosenhaus, Oakland, I think, is fading, man. I kind of get the sense that they're fading a little bit. It sounds that way from what I'm hearing around the league. AB, Brown, Philly got a first-round pick. Rosenhaus, I think they have to give up at least 2 first-round picks to get into the first spot. Other teams are trying to get there. AB, Brown, it's amazing. Rosenhaus, it's competitive. If it's not the Raiders, then we'll make it work with the Eagles, or the Patriots, or the Titans. Brown, are the Patriots ready to hire Rosenhaus? The Patriots are in the mix. I put Belichick in touch with Steelers GM Kevin Colbert today. Brown, how is the decision going to come down? Is it going to come down to what club willing to give up the most? Rosenhaus, from the Steelers' standpoint, that's what they want. They want the most compensation. I really want you to have a good quarterback, a winning environment, man. New England and Philadelphia, these are 2 of the last Super Bowl champs. Brown, 100%. The Raiders pulled off a trade for Brown and then gave him a new mega contract, while the Eagles traded for Deshaun Jackson and then gave him a new 3-year contract. Jackson definitely fits what the Eagles needed, a deep threat who can stretch the field. But Brown has been the best receiver in the league over the last half-decade. Click here to download the My Teams app by NBC Sports. Receive comprehensive coverage of your teams and stream the Flyers, Sixers and Phillies games easily on your device. More on the Eagles' Phoenix. As has become customary, Doug Peterson sat down in front of a round table overflowing with reporters and jokingly checked his watch. It's an hour-long media session and he wants to time it himself. Peterson is hobbled this week at the owners' meetings taking place at the luxurious Arizona Biltmore. He had surgery on his left ankle, where a bone spur was rubbing his Achilles tendon. The operation shaved down the bone and has Peterson in a boot for 10 weeks. Just a few more weeks with the Rolle bout. The two biggest pieces of news to come out of the hour-long breakfast session. 1. Peterson is optimistic about Wentz's availability for OTAs. See story. 2. The Eagles will host the Ravens for joint practices in the third week of training camp. See story. But there were plenty of other nuggets in the lengthy session. Here are a few more takeaways. Corners in the mix. The Eagles brought back Ronald Darby on a one-year contract, so they now have a group of 6 talented and young cornerbacks: Darby, Jalen Mills, Rasul Douglas, Avonte Maddox, Sidney Jones and Cravon LeBlanc. Doug seemed excited to get Darby back. He said Darby was having a really good season before his injury in 2018. After that, the lineup seems far from figured out. Peterson mentioned Avonte Maddox can play in a lot of different spots. One of them is as the nickel cornerback, so that's a possibility for 2019. But Peterson also mentioned LeBlanc's name a few times, so he's still in the mix at that position. With Mills and Darby coming off injuries, we might not get a good sense of the Eagles' starters at corner for a while. There will likely be some competition in training camp. Deshaun TD Store. When Deshaun Jackson signed his contract with the Eagles after being traded, he shared his story about Peterson from Week 2 in Tampa when the Eagles played Deshaun and the Bucs. Peterson filled in the blanks of the story on Tuesday morning. Earlier in the game, first quarter, after he had just scored, there was another play on our sideline. He looks at me and says something like, "You never should have let me go. You never should have let me go." And I was like, I wasn't even there, and then that play happened. I think Corey Clement got dinged down by the goal line, and I walked out and Deshaun was there and I was asked him like, "Why you mad at me? Why you mad at me?" So we had a little exchange that game. It was fun. Peterson and Jackson have a relationship that dates back to 2009. That will be important, mulling retirement. While they are in different situations from a contract perspective, Darren Sproles and Chris Long are both mulling over the possibility of retiring. Sproles, 35, is a free agent, while Long, 34, is still under contract. Peterson said he would like to have Sproles back. Likewise with Long, who hasn't given the Eagles any indication yet. Peterson didn't seem like he's in a rush to get an answer from either player. He said they are veterans who will take care of themselves even if they are away from the team. Wiz and Bennett are gone. The Eagles traded Michael Bennett and didn't pick up the option on Stefan Wisniewski's contract, so both veterans are now off the team. Peterson said similar things about both. They'll get opportunities to start elsewhere and play more than they would have with the Eagles. It was still somewhat questionable to let both of them go, but Bennett will be a starter in New England and there's a chance Wisniewski will find a starting job elsewhere. He's still a free agent. This will give the Eagles a chance to get their younger players more playing time, Peterson said. Harper video. When he was asked about Bryce Harper, Peterson revealed he made a recruitment video to help lure Harper to Philly. What did he say in the video? I can't remember. I did say this. He is my father-in-law's favorite player. Yeah, I said, if you come to Philly, maybe I'll see my father-in-law more than once a year. For some, that wouldn't be a good thing, but Peterson clarified that he likes his father-in-law. Click here to download the My Teams app by NBC Sports. Receive comprehensive coverage of your teams and stream the Flyers, Sixers and Phillies games easily on your device. More on the Eagles.